Yo, yo, yo. What is good, everybody? What is good? Welcome to another iteration of the With the Homies Review Gaming Edition. This episode, we review Bandai's Jump Force for the Xbox One. If you've been listening to this podcast since day one, or even if you just stumbled across our YouTube channel, then I think it's pretty safe to say that you already know myself and the rest of the homies are huge anime fans and have been watching and indulging in the genre for years. So when I heard that a fighting game solely dedicated to some of my favorite animes was coming to consoles, and that I would be able to battle it out with some of my favorite anime characters, and even get to have some dream matchups like All Might vs. Goku, I was barely able to even keep my pants on. And I know someone is probably going to say, but wait, what about the J All-Stars games? Look, those don't count, alright? I know there was some in the PS3 and the Vita, and I think there was even one on the DS. But those are from a different time. We're in a new age now. And this is Jump Force, baby. If I had to quickly summarize the story of Jump Force, it could easily be done in the same way one would describe almost any shonen. Think of your typical Dragon Ball Z story arc, and I think that does a good enough job of getting the point across. If you will for a moment, just sit and imagine with me. It's a bright, clear, beautiful sunny day. Birds are chirping. Children are laughing and playing. Young gentlemen helping elderly men and women across the street or even carry their groceries. The paper boys delivering the daily news. All is peaceful and serene. Then BAM! The real world suddenly becomes one with the shonen universe. That guy Joe that you hate from accounting is getting a special beam cannon to the neck. And your next door neighbor, Marguerite, yeah, she just got a spirit gun to the forehead. Your dog and your brother Johnny, they're getting mutilated by Frieza in your backyard. Sounds awesome, right? I know. Our universe has just been invaded by these things called Venoms, an army of brainwashed villains led by two mysterious bad guys, Kane and Galena. In an effort to restore order to the 10,000 galaxies, all the shonen heroes must join forces and fight back in the name of all that is good and righteous. In Jump Force, you must work to recruit and rescue more heroes under the guidance and leadership of Director Glover in order to strengthen the Jump Force, a ragtag band of Shonen Jump heroes constructed to combat the evil forces of the newly merged Universi. Universes? But in the darkness lurks a suspicious figure who is using both the Jump Force and these Venoms to recover an ancient artifact that has the power to merge all Universi into one. The game opens up to Frieza sliding through an interdimensional portal and landing in Times Square ready for the smoke. But little did he know, Goku was already there ready to put hands on him and his boys. But just like the ending of Menace to Society, civilians get caught in the crossfire, and a stray laser blast from Frieza ends up killing you. But luckily, Trunks has that Phoenix down on deck, and revives you with an object called an Umbrus Cube, giving you superpowers. Now you must fight alongside Goku, Naruto, and Luffy, along with a slew of other heroes, in order to save the multiverse. In terms of combat, Jump Force is nearly identical to Dragon Ball Xenoverse. The combat is fluid and simple yet intricate. You can find success whether you're button mashing your way to victory, or if you've studied every moveset and special and perfected your timing and combos. It's balanced in the sense of combat, where you don't need to be a master to win matches and have a good time alone, or even with friends. But you're definitely rewarded for putting in the work, grinding, and mastering your characters. Sadly, the open world aspects left me wanting more. Going in, I was hopeful for an expansive plane to traverse, with pieces of some of my favorite anime worlds, as well as real-world locations all jumbled together. And you really only got experiences like that when battling, which involves little to no interaction with the world. It's almost like an open-world experience, but it misses the mark. It's more like an open hub world, where you're basically running around in a giant 3D menu, where you can meet other players that are playing and share emojis, join ranked battles and player matches, buy upgrades and moves, and even do side missions. At the end of the day, I really can't complain too much, because in its roots, it is a fighting game, and it wasn't really marketed as anything other than just that. And looking at this piece from a gameplay standpoint, the highlight is definitely the combat. I actually really enjoyed the music in this game. It does a great job of capturing the feel of the story and the characters. The fact the soundtrack was recorded by the Hungarian Philharmonic, as opposed to being created in some studio, adds to the depth of sound as well as the authenticity of the music. All the tracks sound like they were ripped straight out of some anime battle scenes, with high-octane, blood-pumping orchestration. The swelling of horns, the crisp, ominous vocals, the sharp attack of strings, and the stampede of bass beats and electronic breakdowns all culminate into a heart-racing battle experience that brings you coming back for more. Unfortunately, you won't find any themes or songs from your favorite shonens that ring any bells. All the music created for this game was handcrafted and intended to bring a unique sound to this universe. I appreciate the attempt to create a new and exciting sound that can at the same time resonate with all the mangas and animes that are intertwined in the story. But I was hoping to see some sounds and themes I recognize from these works reimagined for this new and exciting experience. There's two things about this game that really stand out and separate themselves from the rest of its features, and it's the combat and the graphics. The graphics are sharp and slightly cartoonish, which I feel suits the aesthetic of the game. The color and lighting, even just the blue glow of light and an impending Kamehameha powering up in Goku's hands as he charges up, has a lifelike feel that adds to the immersion. The worlds look dense and beautiful, and some of these places you visit when battling, like Namek and New York, look like they're ripped straight out of an anime or even the real-world place, and fit perfectly into this video game's realm. Some of the characters look a little crazy, like Luffy for instance. Well, most of the One Piece characters. But I think that's just the way that their characters were intended to be designed. Visually, I don't think they naturally translate well into a video game from their manga and anime counterparts. Graphically, the battle scenes are gorgeous, and the destructible environments look great after a spirit bomb or map leveling special move. The cutscenes during ultimate moves are breathtaking, and are truly my favorite aspect of these battles. The detail that went into the choreography of each of these moves, from little specks of glowing dust coming off a hero's hands as they power up, to the colors reflecting off an opponent's face as a final flash comes barreling towards them. It all makes for a wonderful experience that I think becomes the main attraction of this game. Now for some quick negatives. Although the graphics look great, cutscenes are terrible. Some of the most poorly executed cutscenes I've seen in a fighting game, especially when you have games like Mortal Kombat 11, which had a great single-player mode and story. There's dialogue and voiceovers from original anime cast during fight scenes, but for some reason, half the cutscenes, as well as when interacting with heroes in the open world, are just done through text boxes with no voiceovers. I also think there was a missed opportunity for fans of the dub series of some of these animes. There could have been an option implemented to have some scenes play out in English and be voiced over by the original cast members. I definitely feel there's an over-representation of some of these universes that leave me wanting more from others. DBZ, for instance, has like 6 or 7 characters, and the same for Naruto and One Piece, while Yu Yu Hakusho has only 2. I would have loved to see Kuwabara, or even Sensui, even Gintama, or any of the One Punch Man characters. It was a missed opportunity on their part to include some more characters from different universes and diversify the gameplay experience. Instead, it's more like a celebration of the big 3. Lastly, you already heard me say this, but the open world is an absolute joke. When the most entertaining part of the open world experience is just jumping up and down, then I don't think much more needs to be said. Jump Force and its roots is an amazing idea that had a lot of potential to strike gold in a market thirsting for a marquee game to call its own. But in terms of execution, it was half-baked. I can say that the good aspects about the game are all really good, but at the same time, the bad aspects are really bad. It seems more like a cash grab to placate anime fans than to actually provide a true anime-based fighting game experience. If you love the Shonen Big 3, then you'll definitely be pleased to find a lot of fan service in this one. But if you go in blind with the expectation of an assortment of characters, movesets, and story elements, then you're assuredly going to be disappointed. All in all, I enjoyed Jump Force for what it was. and I think if you're a casual fan of fighting games, or even a die-hard anime fan, then you'll undoubtedly get some enjoyment out of this. The main story is around 10 hours long, and there are a bunch of quick, repetitive side missions to do. Overall, it leaves much to be desired in terms of storytelling and excitement. It's a very run-of-the-mill fighting game story. Baddies come and you must team up with other good guys to stop the evil afoot. Rinse and repeat. The online matches are the true draw of this game. It's quick getting into matches and for the most part runs smoothly. Just being able to square off online against some other heroes across the world and even your friends will have you battling for bragging rights into the wee hours of the morning. This is your homie Potter, and this has been another episode of With the Homies Review. And I'm giving Bandai's Jump Force 6.5 Kamehamehas out of 10.